Greetings, YouTube. I want to preface this video by saying that I do think there are plenty of good people who are in the CCP. I am not trying to make this video so I could just slander people for the sake of clicks. And I would not be making this video at all if Shocker wasn't available for cash at the time of recording this. There are still 14 hours left, and I will drop this video before both early access bundles go away, the Grandmaster version and the Cavalier version. But the reason why this matters is that the CCP, for better or for worse, and I know some of them would argue with this, they are used as a way to hype up champions to make Kabam more money on paper. That doesn't mean that they can't disagree with them, and they have plenty of times. But make no mistake about it, Kabam designed this program to make more money and to use allies in the content creator space, especially on YouTube, to make people excited for new champions. And I mean, so much work and money goes into that makes sense. That's not a bad thing on paper. Shocker, some of the damage that we saw leaked by some members of the CCP was insane. But, Mama, remember what happened on Thursday night when we had some of our people come in and say, Prof, you need to investigate this? Remember what happened?
They were a little underwhelmed with the damage.
They brought a side-by-side comparison, we're shouting out John Faust specifically, of not just a damage decrease, but it was a damage decrease by 300,000 damage. And so I was doing my due diligence as a journalist, and I was just reporting what people were getting back to me. And he tagged not only me, he tagged members of the content creator program, including Legacy, who, again, I've only met once. He was an incredibly cool guy. I hope to cross paths with him in person at some point if Kabam ever comes back to New York City Comic Con, which they haven't in years, thanks mostly to the pandemic. But now I also think, regardless of the pandemic, they want to save money and kind of go cheap and not spend money to take people to New York City, which I hope it doesn't mean that they feel like the game is dying, but you never know. So, I was tagged by a few people with this, including our boy Kickrocks, but Legacy did end up responding, and so did Rich the Man, who I believe was also tagged in this tweet. But this is the official explanation. I'm not trying to slander anybody. I'm not trying to add anything that didn't exist. This is just from Legacy's social media account. You can see the aforementioned John Faust tagged me and Legacy and Rich the Man and Karate Mike and said, I'm watching the deep dive back on Shocker. Did Kabam nerf his damage? He had 100 vibro charges against Wolverine and did a 551,000 heavy, and now it's hitting for less than half that. I wonder if they changed it before he went live. Now, we covered that part on the channel, and you can see the number was 551,009. It's almost 552,000. Now, Legacy's official explanation was the following. Shocker's heavy charge was bugged and scaling with modified attack instead of base attack, so it's functioning properly now. He said it's Kabam's words, not mine. Now, I get he's just trying to be a messenger for Kabam, but this is how I read this. And no, I'm not making this video just to slander anybody or to cause drama. I'm reading that to say that Kabam knew that the champion was bugged and still allowed members of the content creator program to put out this video, and maybe even themselves to put out this video, to hype up a champion that they knew just one day into the new patch was going to be available for cash. And that, of course, could have made some people buy a champion thinking that they were purchasing a higher valued champion than they actually were. Mama, is that reasonable, or do you think I'm being too negative?
No, I totally agree with that. Sounds a bit like a cash grab.
And it sounds like it was one of those things that you can say after the fact, oh, our bad, it was scaling wrong. But by then, people have charged Unit Man's credit card, and we know that for years now, Kabam controls the refund process. So those people who say, hey, if I had known Shocker was supposed to be working unintentionally, if Shocker was bugged, I maybe wouldn't have bought this deal. They won't get their money back. No chance.
No.
Zero chance.
Nope.
So here's my final point. Because let's say, for the sake of argument, that the CCP didn't know. If Kabam didn't even tell their own content creators that are putting their reputation on the line to hype up a champion that's bugged, that's even more shady.
Yep.
Because then they're willing to make extra money to risk hurting the reputation of the people that test champions before they're released. So no matter how you look at it, this does not look good. So, if you're watching this live, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Otherwise, again, I still love the people I've met in the CCP. I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative here. I just think Kabam has some explaining to do, but they want us to all ignore it because it makes it easier for them. If you're watching live, stay tuned. If not, goodbye.
Good night.